All right. Welcome to Poetry Open Mic Asheville, the virtual quarantine live stream, coming at you live from my living room here in Asheville, North Carolina. Thanks for joining us tonight. My name is Caleb Beissert. It's a pleasure to be your host. Since this is the Poetry Mic, I'm gonna get it kicked off tonight, right with the poetry. This first one, let's start off with some Ginsberg tonight. Allen Ginsberg. You might know this one. Cool black night through redwoods, cars parked outside in shade. Behind the gate, stars dim above the ravine. A fire burning by the side porch. A few tired souls hunched over in black leather jackets. In the huge wooden house, a yellow chandelier at 3 a.m. The blast of loudspeakers, hi-fi, Rolling Stones, Ray Charles, Beatles, Jumping Joe Jackson, and 20 youths dancing to the vibration through the floor. A little weed in the bathroom. Girls in scarlet tights, one muscular, smooth-skinned man sweating, dancing for hours, beer cans bent, littering the yard, a hanged man, sculpture, dangling from a High Creek branch, children sleeping softly in their bedroom bunks, and 4 police cars parked outside the painted gate, red lights revolving in the leaves. And that's called First Party at Ken Kesey's with Hell's Angels. Dear friend, ran into her the other day, and she was like, "Oh, and Ruth Bader Ginsburg's passing. Oh, I know you were such a big fan of hers. You know, I thought of you immediately and whatnot." And I was like, "Well, you know, I mean, yeah, I'm a fan." But it didn't occur to me until later that I think she might have been talking about Allen Ginsberg. But anyway, who was a influence early on. Anyway, I'm going to do a couple of original poems for you here. But thanks so much for tuning in. We do this each and every Wednesday night. We have an amazing feature poet tonight. Jessica Jacobs is with us. We're very excited about that, and we hope y'all will stay tuned. We also have a whole host of other performers lined up to perform tonight on the mic. We do sign up starting Monday nights in the Poetry Open Mic Asheville group on Facebook. You can sign up there and reserve a spot on the list, and we'll let you know who's coming up on the mic and all that good stuff. Yes, indeed. Okay. Also, we really appreciate all the likes, comments, and shares. And we also appreciate our sponsor, Sovereign Kava. A big shout out to all the Kava people down at the bar tuning in. We appreciate y'all. E and the crew over there. Much love, y'all. Here on the love stream. You know it. Anyway, we do appreciate their support, and we hope you will support the Kava bar. They are open for to-go orders only, masks required. They also do kickback through delivery through Kickback Asheville. So check it out. Also, if you're performing tonight and you're in the Asheville area, we offer you a free double of Kava from the Kava bar. Just drop by and tell them you performed on the open mic. Anyway, I'm going to do a few more poems here, and then we'll get our featured poet on. But really appreciate everyone tuning in tonight. This poem's called Forest Elegy. My friend told me of the 30-year-old owl whose tree died and had to be cut down. And inside, they found over 400 cat collars. And this one's called Syllable Gong. I play traditional Indonesian gamelan music, and in that music, they say if you get lost, just listen for the sound of the gong, as the gong occurs at the end of each passage, sort of like the downbeat, except it's at the end of the phrase, it's rather than the beginning, as it is in Western music. This is called Syllable Gong. Nothing more, the writing, head golden beyond bronze, bells clanging barrel drum. The fine tune of intricate beating, only a field with abandoned jackass magnetic, only a whisper of an eternity of river cane, only the sounds of love-making without an answer, still questioning. The reeds tremble with unknown animals. The sun fades orange and blue smoke from wildfires across bone ridges, settling in hollows. Tears come from the smoke. Children play in the smoke. Century-old oak trees vanish in the smoke. No more writing on paper, only smoke. Only a field abounding with dogs and lilies. Only separations of blue upon blue. The argument of the rain, the insistence of the river, rush of its cascades, revolving of the ancient music. Follow the sound. Beneath it, hear the hidden melody. The gong will tell you where you are. And this is a newer one. This is called Johnson's Small Fruit Farm. The old man at Hump Mountain said Mr. Johnson passed away last night. He'd been sick for a while. Miss Johnson says she's done with the farm. I remember picking raspberries the size of strawberries, buckets full of blueberries, crisp apples that snapped when you bit into them. They didn't grow watermelons. No jackfruits hang in that mountain orchard. No cantaloupes. Thanks, y'all. And the last one I'll do for now is an old one. This is called Back to the Garden. Continents of plastic bottles drifting on open oceans, the rise and swell of milk jugs and tufts of bubble wrap that even the undiscerning sea cannot swallow. And birds drop seeds of foreign trees that grow amongst steel girders high on suspension bridges above rivers, cutting rivers that find a way. And everything finds a way to the rivers, to the seas, where phytoplankton feed on the polyethylene we bathe in. And even in the destruction, the mother radiation, our brother petroleum, old father concrete, the cracking of steel sure is magnetism. Roots creep back in, invisible fibers web, and a swoop of cranes lands so weightless they don't set off the mines. In a valley of setting sun, like endangered seraphim, they clean feathers slowly, work they're used to, same as the forest, phoenixing from grasses and shrubs again and again, through countless sunrises, countless by our tiny numbers, lost to our inky memory. All right. Appreciate y'all tuning in tonight. We've got a great feature poet for you tonight. Awesome. Thanks, y'all. What's up, Nicole Brown? Big shout out. And Kwanzaa, KJ, Elijah, thanks so much for commenting, y'all. Appreciate y'all being with us. Also, if anyone has questions for our featured poet tonight, make sure to post those in the comments as well. But speaking of which, I'm going to introduce our featured poet now. I'm so excited about this poet. Jessica Jacobs is the author of Take Me With You Wherever You're Going. That's from Four Way Books. And it was named Library Journal's Best Poetry Books of the Year. Winner of the Goldie Award in Poetry from the Golden Crown Literary Society, and a finalist for both the Brockman Campbell and Julie Suk Book Awards. Her debut collection, Pelvis with Distance, from White Pine Press, won the New Mexico Book Award in Poetry, was an Over the Rainbow selection by the American Library Association, and was a finalist for the Lambda Literary and Julie Suk Awards. Her chapbook, Whatever Light Left to Us, was published by Sibling Rivalry Press. She lives in Asheville, North Carolina, with her wife, the poet Nicole Brown, with whom she has co-authored Write It, a collection of writing prompts due out this fall from Spruce Books. So y'all check that out as well. Also, I do want to let you know about the Gilbert Chapel series. She's also working with us on that. And she also has a virtual reading and some virtual workshops coming up, which I'll let her tell you about as well. But without further ado, you know the drill. Wherever you are, whether you're at home or maybe in your car or in public or outside the Kava bar right now, y'all jump up and down, put your hands together, make a whole bunch of noise for our great feature poet tonight, Jessica Jacobs. Give it up, everyone. Jessica!
Hello, Caleb. How are you?
I am great now that I'm doing some virtual open mic and that you're here. It's so good to see you. Even though we're in the same town, it's been quite a while just because of everything that's going on. I used to see your readings around town a lot, but
I know, and I wish we could kick back with some Kava after this. So
yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, you've been to the in-person open mic at the Kava bar, so it's good to finally have you as a feature poet, even though we're virtual. I'm still glad we can get together in the virtual realms. You know, at least there's that.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. I wanted to first plug your reading, the Malaprops reading for the event for the writing prompts book, which sounds fantastic. I have to get that. I could use some prompts.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, we're still waiting for date confirmation, but I think it's going to be October 19th. And it's a book that I've co-authored with my wife, Nicole Brown, because we teach all over the country together. And so we kind of distilled, a lot of our teaching down into 100 writing prompts to hopefully keep people company while they're stuck at home and get them writing.
What good timing.
Yeah. So we're gonna so have a launch hopefully on the 19th with some poet friends to join us, and then have a series of drop-in writing classes that we ask people to buy the book if they can, but it's just really service for the writing community and it's free other than that. So yeah,
that's fantastic.
Awesome.
And also let's see. I also wanted to mention the Gilbert Chapel Distinguished Poet Series put on by the North Carolina Poetry Society, and I had the honor this year to name Jessica Jacobs as our new distinguished poet for the Western region. So she will be mentoring students this fall, and we invite people to submit to this. You can find information about it on the North Carolina Poetry Society website. And basically, what happens is we submit work. People submit work from all across the region. We get one middle school, one high school, one college level, and one adult, one non-school student. We select one of each to study one-on-one with Jessica, and it culminates in readings next spring with Jessica. So we're very excited for that, and you know, I encourage anyone out there who might be interested in this, or if you know anyone interested, please pass along that link and apply for this. And
Awesome.
I'm excited to be working with you, Jessica.
Oh, I'm excited too. It'll be, yeah, I miss teaching a lot, so it'll be a very good opportunity to work with some poets one-on-one.
Right, right. Well, I thanks for doing that, and I want to talk about your work. You know, you recently, not too long ago, released "Take Me With You,"
Mm-hmm.
and so you'll be reading a little bit from that tonight, and then
Yep.
some new work.
Yeah,
as
I'll be
well.
reading. Yes, I'll read a couple of poems from that book, which is primarily a book that is about the early years of my marriage, and just the act of falling in love, and having a long committed relationship. And then the new work is really delving into to questions of spirituality, into
Mm-hmm.
the Torah, the Old Testament,
Right.
and has been a good anchor during this time. So yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I'm excited to hear that, and I must say, I love your book, and I really encourage everyone to get this beautiful book of poetry. There's the website right there where you can find links to all of her work. And Jessica, I'm going to turn it over to you now. But I did also want to say, if anyone has questions for the poet, feel free to leave those in the comments, and we'll try to get to those after the reading. But anyway, I would like everyone to give it up one more time for Jessica Jacobs.
So I just want to start by thanking you, Caleb. I so admire all you do for the literary community in Asheville and elsewhere, and I'm honored to be here. And I actually want to start with a poem that is not mine, a poem by Lucille Clifton. And this is a poem I want to read in honor of the passing of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and also Breonna Taylor, and so many other people who have left us far too early. So Lucille Clifton, Blessing the Boats. May the tide that is entering even now, the lip of our understanding, carry you out beyond the face of fear. May you kiss the wind, then turn from it, certain that it will love your back. May you open your eyes to water, water waving forever. And may you, in your innocence, sail through this to that. So I'm going to begin with, as I said, two poems from my most recent book, Take Me With You, Wherever You're Going. And the first poem is a poem of joy, because for the love of God, we could really use some more of that these days. And I wanted to just celebrate how amazing it is to be in love, and I wanted to write an ode. And my wife has pretty awesome hair, so that felt like a good topic. So this poem has as an epigraph: other lovers want to live with particular eyes. I only want to be your stylist. That's Pablo Neruda. And the poem is Curly, My Tangler. Who needs Rumpelstiltskin when such treasure abounds? Her gold woven around my bike gears, tangled in my toothbrush, vining every drain, even sometimes found in my mouth upon waking. And just this morning from the bathroom, she called me in. My mama's the only one who ever brushed out my hair, she said. But you're my wife. You should know. I began at the bottom, her curls separating with the thick sound of good cloth tearing. Do you see why I had no friends when I was little? She asked. Mama brushed out my hair each day before school. I eased my fingers for the first time all the way through, asked how that felt for her. Vulnerable, she said. Shimmering out beneath the overhead light, a climbing of kudzu, a symphony of trumpet vines. Her hair revealed itself. It was like Velcro, she said. Anything would stick in it. Bubblegum, spitwads, pencils. I'd come home crying and Mama would hold my ugly frizzy head and say, baby, they're just jealous. As though her love could make the lie so. When it comes to her mother and I have this kind of love in common. Only now the lie has come to pass. My wife, whose hair is the shade of farm fresh yolks, the color of things rich on the tongue, whose hair sings the plaintive song of bed springs, whose hair is the drifting smoke from a village of chimneys, corkscrews enough for 1,000 bottles of wine. A ski slope of S-curves, a grove of twirling maple keys, every playground slide worth sliding. Before a rapt audience, a company of ballerinas cambers their hands to trace out in the air your hair, my dear Angora goat, my cloud of bats spiraling from the cave. And the second poem I'm going to read is a little less joyful, but equally important and true, because long relationships take work. So, and this poem has it as its epigraph, a quote from Stanley Kunitz. Darling, do you remember the one you married? Touch me, remind me who I am. In the grove of self-charging trees. It is early enough that fog still skeins the highest branches, entwining each tree a cable rough craped as wild grapevine, with both ends socketed into the trunk. Murmur and fizz of power pulled from the sky, from the earth. Power recirculated by the cables, nothing wasted. In a clearing no bigger than our cabin's double bed, you spread a blue blanket. We make a picnic of a peach and a plum. Then, with no top sheet, no clothes, not even a bracelet. How long has it been, love, since we touched? Even our kisses are given on the way to something else. Yet here, our bodies do not just tighten, but seal fast around the other, and we kiss the kind of kiss that's like entering a glass cathedral, a structure that exists to emphasize the space it contains while leaving visible all it does not. We move into that kiss as we move into each other with gentle force, a matched insistence, and all the trees begin to hum. Self-charging circuits, all of us, drawing from the world a stream of heat and light, which we pass between us like a fire that burns but does not consume. I wake to your back, Your body an early morning house in which all the inhabitants are still asleep, the lights extinguished, the doors locked and bolted. Yet beside our bed, the marigolds you brought me burn like paper caught in the act of ignition. Orange and red petals of flame. And on each of our ring fingers, the same silver band. My promise to you, my charge, that through the forest and fog, through the busy thicket, I will never stop finding my way to your door. All I need from you is to answer. All you have to do is let me in. So I'm going to switch off to a lot newer work. This is from a collection that's slated to come out in a few years. And really, delves into questions of spirituality. I was raised in a very secular Jewish household, so it feels very odd to me to return to any type of organized religion or even organized religious texts at this point. My dear friend, the poet Matthew Olsman, asked me to write him an epistolary poem, to write him a letter. So I felt like that was a really good topic to ask about. He's a smart guy. Letter to Matthew Olsman requesting discernment. How old were you, Matthew, when the world tipped its hand? When things you thought were natural showed their seams? I was 13. On trucked-in pallets across the street, squares of scotch grass were stacked high as my head. Did you know a lawn could be delivered? I didn't. But lured by promises of Pepsi and pizza, of doing equal work with the boys, I hauled and placed, puzzling them neat as a sheet of graph paper. The girls that year had begun to paint their faces, a line of cheap orange stark along their jaws. Unlike me, they had not yet learned the art of how to blend. All those boys I pretended to like, all the girls I pretended not to. In thrift stores, we tried on others' past season selves, the clothes like the kids in the hallways grouped by color and type. We wore masks of slang and song lyrics, dropped band names like currency, smoked skunk weed copped from an older brother's underwear drawer. Mirrors held a special magnetism. Instead of homework, I studied myself. And after school, I walked past the grass, the contrived squares busy stitching and joining into a lawn, passing themselves off like they'd been there all along. Yet I could still feel the weight of that sod, the wet itch of it on my skin, the wonder that wherever I set it, it would bind itself to the ground below. All day, my neighbors' sprinklers stuttered rainbows. All night, to the hiss of their groundwater whispers, I traced out my new hips and breasts, the possibilities I might grow into. And now, decades on, I'm transplanting a faith I'm not sure I'll ever own. Heavy with questions, I zip myself into Judaism like a patchwork parka of grass, hoping it might take hold, might grow to fit snug as a golf course greenway. Matthew, I wish you'd been around then to ask. Outside the lawn, inside me, each carefully constructed as a Lego set, yet also a living, breathing, dying thing. We're both fake just because I'd helped make them. And now, what do you think of this whole religion thing? Will faith always gape like a borrowed coat? If something isn't natural, can it still be true? So one of the interesting things of reading text this old is finding things that seem pretty bizarre by our modern standards. And one of those is from the story of Abraham when he is bidding his servant to go and find a wife for his son Isaac. And they had a special way of making such oaths. And so this is a quote. And Abraham said to his servant, "Put your hand, pray, under my thigh, that I might make you swear by the Lord." Which of course made me think of hanging out on the pretty gay beaches of Provincetown. So here we go. Saturday services at the Provincetown shore. Just off the parking lot, the lesbians come prepared. Our section, a series of small encampments fortified with tents, coolers, canvas chairs, the occasional baby under a pop-up sunshade. A sunscreen slathered dealer shuffles cards on a sturdy folding table. Along a grassy ridge, the rigging of beach boats chime their masts, marking the passing hours. And down a long stretch of pebbled sand, the masters of minimalism, men with little more than flip-flops and hand towels. Oceanfront anthropologist, trespasser between tribes I run past, note how the sculpted V's of their backs arrow to an outcropping of asses polished as tumbled stones. At the shoreline, a man flips into a handstand, penis flapping like a windsock in low breeze. Inverted Michelangelo, until his scan for admirers unkilters him into the surf. A seagull skims out, wings slow clapping the water. Behind me, the land of women gripping beer koozies, fanning themselves with hands of Texas Hold'em. I'll return, I'm required. All my stuff is still there. And yes, men can make a bit much of their manhood, family, jewels, third leg, second brain. But the clutter of comfort can obscure unornamented need, and for just this barefoot mile, I envy their economy, the premium they place on desire. 2 by 2, men enter the dunes. Because anyone taking an oath, said Rashi, must hold in their hands a sacred object, and because circumcision was Abraham's first commandment and came to him through suffering and was beloved to him, he chose it as the object on which his servant swore. For those moments they share, no matter what Leviticus says, pursing tight its prurient verses, these men too are taking a kind of oath. Their bodies are all they entail. Okay, just 2 more poems for you tonight. This first one is just, we've been spending a lot of time at home, as I think most people are, hanging out with our dog. So, and I've just gotten really interested in learning Hebrew, the different ways that things are translated, oftentimes very simplistically, but have a far deeper etymology and meaning. So, Mazel Tov. Circular breather, he whines without ceasing, his tail thumping the wall beside the bed to call me up and out to the yard instead. In moonlight, the hydrangea's white blossoms are a zodiac of branch-bound constellations. Once God called Abraham out from his tent to the open field to count the uncountable lights above, promising offspring bountiful as dust, numerous as the stars. Like Abraham, I too left my land, my birthplace, my father's house. But the closest I have to an offspring is lifting his leg at the azalea, nose busy with the news the night air brings. Mazel Tov, we say at births and other joyous occasions, the Jewish go-to for congratulations. Yet Tov means good, and Mazel, constellation or destiny. And sometimes, like Abraham, you must leave the place that grew you to grow toward better stars. In the house my wife is sleeping. A possum dens beneath the shed, and a family of black bears has designated our driveway a thoroughfare. Above, trees thick with summer frame a porthole of sky. Maybe, though, it's not always the stars that matter, but the space between them. The lines we draw to shape the absence, the lives we forge around what goes missing. From the deck, a cool breeze makes a festival of the silver-lit leaves. Under my palm, there's the warmth of his fur, the steady rise of his ribs. He doesn't know his kidneys are failing, that his muzzle is white as the winter our vet has said he will not live to see. Like all of us, he is dying. Like most of us, he doesn't know it. His chin on my leg, he trusts me with the weight of his head. So if I wish you mazel tov, know what I mean is, may you find a reason to open your door to the dark. I'll mean, may you live beneath good stars and take the time to notice. And this last poem is just about noticing. It's about not turning away from all of the really terrifying things happening right now, and taking the time to acknowledge them, and hopefully to act, and hopefully to vote, please. If you see something. 100-year floods now regular as rain, while cathedrals of redwoods dense with nests, burrows, and dens all raised to charred silhouettes as cars race away on highways deserted and walled in flames. White coats sift the ashes for human remains. Cities of people entombed in their homes, windows sealed, the air too poisoned to breathe. Soon whole nations made refugee by heat and by hunger. But what about today? This bluebird sky with clouds festive as a child's drawing. Exactly, say our pharaohs, shooing us along. Nothing to see here. If something were truly wrong, wouldn't others have already seen it? Yet God spoke to Moses from the burning bush because he alone paused long enough to notice what was right before him, humbling himself before that heat until he heard it speak. Our world is burning too slowly for us to see it consumed. We must unstiffen our necks, unheavy our tongues. Take off your shoes. Look, speak. Wherever you are is holy ground. Thank you.
All right. Y'all, thank you so much, Jessica.
Thanks, Caleb.
Fantastic. Just a beautiful reading. I love the new work. I love the spiritual themes you're exploring with that.
Thank you.
And I look forward to that book coming out as well. Let's see. I don't think we have any questions here, so the work speaks for itself. And I encourage everyone to buy the book, buy the books, buy the new writing prompts books, and of course, take me with you wherever you're going. It's such a fantastic book, and so cool you got to use that title for a book. I love that.
Thank you.
And
Thank you, Caleb. Looking
yeah.
forward to everybody's poems.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for being here, and I hope you can make it back again sometime soon. And yeah, can't thank you enough. Everybody give it up one more time for the incredible Jessica Jacobs. Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you.
Alrighty, you're tuned in to the one and only Poetry Open Mic Asheville, coming at you live from Asheville, North Carolina. My name's Caleb Beissert. It's a pleasure to be your host. Many thanks again to our featured poet. We got some more great performers coming at you in just a moment. Just want to post that link again and encourage everyone to check out Jessica's work at the website there, the new writing prompts book, and if you're eligible, apply for the North Carolina Poetry Society's Gilbert Chapel Distinguished Poet Series, and you could have the opportunity to study with Jessica Jacobs. So check that out. Wonderful. I think we have a few comments here still for comments here for Jessica. A few comments. We really appreciate the comments, y'all. All the likes, comments, and shares. That was a great poem. Yeah. Lucille Clifton. Very good. Thanks, y'all. Indeed. Right. Incredible poetry. Yes, indeed. Well, thanks for being here with us, where we have a great featured poet every Wednesday night, and then we open up the mic. So anyway, if you're signed up tonight, you got first dibs on a spot. Make sure to follow that StreamYard link. If you're performing, enter the broadcast studio. If it's full, just wait a minute, and as people perform, you can drop out. We'll get more people in there. So no worries, we'll get everyone on tonight. And many thanks again to our sponsor, Sovereign Kava. Big shout out to the folks listening down at the Kava bar. We love y'all. And thanks for keeping this open mic going. And just came out last week. We were voted best open mic in Western North Carolina again. So thanks for your support. And we'll keep it going for you here in the virtual realms. Reminding everyone out there to stay safe, keep standing up for what is right, and vote. Please register to vote and get out and vote, or do a mail-in ballot, but vote. It's a very important election on many levels. All right, let's see who we have up next here. I think we have up next we've got Lee Stockdale this week. Always good to see Lee. Then we have some new folks joining us tonight. Of course, we have Jay in the house. Holland's back this week. Always good to see Holland. We got Justin Blackburn coming on. Tara's here tonight. We got David and Christopher and KJ. Big shout out to KJ. He's gonna perform tonight. And we got Brian and Brennan too. Brennan's back. It's so good to see Brennan back in the house tonight. We'll get Brennan a spot on here. And gosh, thanks so much for being here, y'all. I'm excited to see everyone. So let's get down to it. Y'all know the drill. Put your hands together and make a whole bunch of noise for Lee Stockdale. Give it up. Hey, Lee. How you doing tonight? Oh, your mic's muted. The mic's muted. Can you unmute your mic? There we go. Lee? Yeah, I can hear you now. Very good.
That's good. Wow, I just have to say, Jessica, that was so beautiful. Was it not? Wow, that was just really nice.
Right. I could listen to her read forever.
Yeah, I'm amazed. That's just beautiful poetry. You know, honestly, when I was listening to you, Jessica, I was thinking, oh, this is what poetry is supposed to be like. It's really
That's a great response.
Yeah,
she's such she's a real master of the narrative in poetry, but also an incredible the lyricism's incredible. So it really is like what poetry's supposed to be like.
Yeah, and so in fact, I'm going to read, because it was beautiful spiritual poetry. I don't hear a lot of beautiful spiritual poetry.
Yeah,
I don't, and so I'm going to try to do that. I mean,
cool.
Big shoes to follow, but just to sort of keep that spirit alive. So
Hey, I love when the conversation continues
yeah,
through poetry throughout the night. I'm all
good,
about that.
great.
So, well,
Who
I'll
knows?
turn it
Maybe
over to.
some
Uh-huh.
other people will come up with, maybe it'll be a spiritual poetry night. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah.
Who
We'll
knows?
see. You
I'm
never
going to
know
do
where
two
it's going to go.
poems. I'm going to do two
Excellent.
poems. All right,
Great.
great.
I'll turn it
Thank,
over to you,
hey,
Lee.
thank you,
Thanks.
Caleb. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. So again, Jessica, thank you so much. That was really beautiful. So I'm gonna read two overtly spiritual poems. Uh, this is called God's Eyes. The planets are all in my eyes, as my eyes are God's eyes. I am a reporter on a beat, reporting back to God what I see. The love I find through every door winds down the path to every shore. The drink that renews me when the sun dips below night, and eyes look back at me through dark green jungles of possibility. Eyes I do not know, eyes I love, eyes I want to know. God whispers to these eyes, which light like fireflies, beckon me to come with them for a deeper love. But my love could be no deeper. I have seen God's eyes, have drunk his wine. If someone offers me deeper love, I will act surprised and interested. From the bank, the stream looks passive. When I step in, the current is strong. The silver lure twists and flashes like the glinting things in the field before the trees. Above the field, the last remnants of pink sky day. I think Aurora Borealis, but no, a distant cousin. Here, on vacation, she is too casual, sensual, and arouses the night like a swan. The night is a protest of feathers. There is order in God. There is order in love. There is order in day. There is order in night. Shutters shut, doors close, windows slide down wooden tracks, curtains brush. Wind is king or queen of the dark. The human body needs rest, sleep. Was night made for sleep or sleep made for night? Who can say if wind is king or queen of night? All are asleep. All are God's eyes, peeking through dreams. When someone says, I believe in God, they are saying, I believe in love. No one does not believe in love. No one does not have eyes to see God. God's eyes see through our eyes, whose eyes are God's eyes. And this is called Wave the Cross. Nothing to do but wave the cross in the face of doubt and rejection. No lines to stand in for faith in God and hope in the fellowship of followers of Christ, who ascend each day the mountain of grace from various converging paths and roads, encouraging hearts to be not discouraged, but overbrimming the Holy Spirit. Three in one to wrap around, our minds laid open bare to the elements, canopied by angels, embellishing praise, sung silently to hearing ears, while the word of God, the fiery wheel, illuminates the real, disappearing thin history paper, eclipsed by the torch of eternal truth, in a form by human eyes recognized. All other theories bow to faith, the bridge from human hearts to God, unreached by finite intellectualization, as arching above the battle stations of angels' care and concern for human charges tossed on shores, drowning in unavoidable change as off its axis earth flies. Faith, the only key to unlock the door to peace every soul yearns for, before death brings its heavenly rest without encumbrances of human regret. Wildly then, wave with strong arms the cross of faith at the gates of hell. Gash the jowls of the lion who leaps from the precipice with its sin-filled jaws. Wave the cross in the face of temptation. Wave the cross in the inmost places where sadness drags its corpse into view. Wave it over the dam, holding back the tears life makes us think of as failure. Strip away all but the love of God. Let darkness fend for itself. Glide the mind like the drove of flight. Bring back to the ark the promise of light and the rainbow. Permanently affixed in the heart, God's love printed on hands at birth. That happy occasion following labor. From greatest pain comes greater joy. Cool rain to water all the earth with Christ in our hearts to light the way, until again we see his face and know in that instant faith is real. Thank you. Have a good night. Can't wait for everybody else.
Keep it going for Lee. Thank you, Lee.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
At the first break.
Say what now?
Was that your band, Cavalactones, at the first break, or somebody else?
Oh yeah, that's my band. Yeah, that's the theme music for the whole night. Yeah.
Real nice. Thank you. Have a great night. Thank you, Caleb.
I appreciate it, Lee. Absolutely. We'll see you again soon.
See you. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Good night.
That's Lee Stockdale, everyone. Thank you so much, Lee. Really appreciate it. Excellent. Cool. Some comments here for Lee. And appreciate everyone tuning in tonight to Poetry Open Mic Asheville. Coming at you live. Very good. Yes, great work, Lee. Thank you. And thanks to all our performers tonight. We're gonna keep it rolling here. We got some space opening up in the broadcast studio, so if you're performing tonight, go ahead and enter the broadcast studio. We'll get you on here as soon as possible. We're going to keep it rolling. Many thanks again to our featured poet tonight, Jessica Jacobs. Thanks again to everyone. All right. Up next on the mic tonight, we have Jay in the house with us. So y'all know what to do. Jump up and down, make a bunch of noise for Jay.
Okay.
All right. Hey,
hello.
Jay.
How you doing?
Hey,
can you hear me clearly?
I'm doing well, thank you. Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. How are you tonight?
Oh, not too bad, not too bad. Happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you so much for being here. Where are you joining us from tonight?
I'm from Chicago.
Oh, cool.
Suburbs, Skokie, just outside of there. Not too many people are familiar with it, so I just usually say Chicago
Sure,
area.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, it's a big area, but that's great. We love our Chicago poets and performers. Thank you so much for being here tonight. What do you have for us tonight?
I just got one piece. It's something I used to do a lot around here in the city.
Cool.
I've been missing being able to go out and do shows myself, and when I saw the opportunity, I've been trying to get more into the Zoom, internet, all this stuff that's going on, and I'm just not a super technologically savvy person, so it took me a little while to catch up. I think we're all figuring it out.
Hey, I know I've been figuring it out. It took me a while too, but I'm glad we have this opportunity for this new virtual venue to perform and stay connected when we can't get together in person.
Absolutely, and I've already got an opportunity so far to hear two fantastic people. Something I would not have heard here in Chicago, most likely. So it's great for that.
Get together from all over and welcome new people, and so it's great. But I'm excited to hear the poetry, and I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to you, Jay.
Right.
But thanks for being here. Y'all give it up for Jay.
Okay. All right. This piece is called apologies in advance. There may be some salty language in this, but it's called Bullshit Artists. So We like to sit for hours bragging, razor blade tongues wagging, slashing balloon animals, chopping snacks for cannibals, and sloppily tailoring the latest fashions failing into tattered rags, worthily shunned by mags, but never gutter punks, those hobo monks, riding cocaine rails, right on liberty's tails, so wasted they see two of her, never still, in a motion blur, headed in opposite directions, yet always with some connections, keeping her from getting too far from herself. We're in a bar, talking about our appetites and genius, how we've touched forms of Venus, anecdotes about satanic goats, renegade robots ignoring remotes, demanding stop, and when we made the beat drop, the beauty of scars coming off tongues powered by smoke-filled lungs, shifting the air with mercurial flare, reciting every recollection whose truth defies detection, because no one can see what isn't there, though how readily minds repaint the past with a CGI cast, taking the stage we set, never worried who may vet the details. We're kings, queens, and emperors of all things. The show goes on as if this fiction has St. Allred's benediction, ensuring the integrity of the dramaturgy, informing the actors how to present the intended perception sent. Last night may have merely been hours draining poutine, staring at the same chipped wall till falling in a drunken sprawl on a neighbor's lawn until dawn when the sprinklers come on. Instead, claim to have met Khan, Kubla, Genghis, and Noonien Singh, or any other famous king. It doesn't matter which, because the real pitch centers on a quest. We were sent as the very best. Crossing French prairies, peopled by tribes fueled by blood orange wit, we ventured to star-cut immortal jelly with a cookie cutter. Prize in hand, we decided to bring it to Goose Island for everyone to enjoy, not just the arrogant bastards keeping the joys of delirium to themselves. We traveled a half acre a second, it seemed, and soon hit evening when we paused to dine on dogfish with the 3 Floyds sent by the Alpha King to guide us from the evil twin imperial city, New York, reborn by the sour left hand. Not sure we're getting where we're going, but out of Anderson Valley take comfort in the perennials, the like minds, the sunspot feeding the green bush. Later we'll be aquanauts braving the ocean, but for now, we're just bullshit artists, doing our damnedest, reading taps, labels, and prosing whatever drunk consciousness is composing. As the streams flow, the story grows, with no honesty to fetter from the better until it eclipses the truth, sinks a saber tooth, leaving a mess of gore. The lie lives to legend forevermore. Thank you.
All right. And thank you, Jay. Thank you so much. Appreciate you joining us tonight. And please come back and share more again in the future. And yeah, cool. We'll see you next time. Yeah, thank you, Jay. Appreciate it. Cheers. Yes, indeed. Y'all give it up again for Jay. Thank you, Jay. And thank you to all our performers tonight. We're so happy to be here sharing our creativity together. I look forward to this every week. So thanks for being part of it. We keep it going for y'all. And thanks for voting us best open mic in Western North Carolina. We appreciate it. We've been going for a while. We're Asheville's longest running and best open mic, thanks to your support. Shout out to our friends down at Sovereign Kava. Appreciate y'all being there for us. And y'all support Sovereign Kava. Stop by, get your to-go orders, and wear a mask, all that good stuff. And if you're performing tonight, be sure and take advantage of that free double shot as a thank you from us. We appreciate our performers. Anyway, we got Holland coming up next. Again, if you're performing tonight, follow that StreamYard link, enter the broadcast studio. Very good. Cool. We got some comments there for Jay. Thank you, Jay. Very good. We appreciate everyone's comments. Oh, yeah, Nick Glenn. Good stuff. Alrighty. Cool. Well, let's keep rolling here. Very good. And next up on the Poetry Open Mic, we've got Holland with us. She's been a regular at the in-person open mic for quite a while, so it's good to see her back in the house tonight. Y'all know what to do. Jump up and down, and make a whole bunch of noise for Holland. Holland!
Hey, what's up?
Chillin'. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
You know, I'm good. I'm good. I always feel better after a little open mic, so.
Oh yeah, it's good to
Yeah.
connect.
It is. It really is.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
Jessica was so great, and everybody's
Right.
she was so good. I love hearing poetry about people's spirituality, because I'm a deeply spiritual person myself.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, same. So
Yeah.
it's good. I love to hear people's different takes on spirituality.
Yes, she was good.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I know you got some good poems for us tonight.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna piggyback off of the spiritual thing.
Fantastic.
It's a little crass. I hope that's okay.
Oh, you know that's okay here. We're all about
Okay.
it.
Sounds good.
Cool. Well, hey, I'll go ahead and turn it over to you.
Okay,
I'll let
great.
you
Thank
share,
so
but
much.
thanks for being here, Holland.
Yeah, happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Everyone, give it up for Holland.
Thank you. So before the whole spiritual thing happened, or like piggybacking off of that, I had a poem I wanted to read, and I'm going to read it anyway, and then go on to what I was going to say about spirituality. Basquiat is one of my favorite artists. He really influences me. I feel like we're cut from the same piece of soul. So there's a poem sort of about him. I dreamed of a love like Basquiat, the carry a canvas on the street, listen to jazz R&B type of love. The tortured soul, downtown 81, 27 club kind of romance. But when he came, he was the quiet sort of trouble. The look deep into my brown eyes when you peek, that type of fucker. I wanted cheap red wine intoxication and black graffitied mania. What I got was the same old spray can. The rusted metal hand too tired to hold. The better coming now while those walls are still down. You only get in the club by passing, and death is a passé type of lover. Okay, that's that one. And then all of these are kind of like they're poems through the lens of religion, Christianity to be exact, but they're not really about Christianity. So this is the first one. What of Sunday, when I find holiness in you? Under a cross we create bare, above an altar draped with unfolded bedsheets, a sermon delivered in stanzas unspoken, whispered psalms uttered between hips, words of God breathed onto we by a voice sweeter than burning incense. What lovely letters we seal with wax, dripped from the votives, lit alongside prayers, honoring what shall surely come to pass. Here's another one. I remember the sting of fallen ash from innocence, no, incense, pressed between praying palms. All that time spent on my knees, begging the ancestors to make me holy again. No, whole again. Before finally burning through every votive at my altar, my hands red from sacrament, I withstood. No, I stood from sin and absolved myself. Here's another one that I'm pretty sure was a part of the same big poem of the one before I broke them up. And it goes, I longed for somebody to absolve me of my sins, to baptize my bones and call me holy. I was waiting to witness the resurrection instead of arising to save myself. And then lastly, I plucked the thorns from my side, crowned my temple as sangre dripped to anoint me. I bent the knee to my queen, and now the only altar I prostrate for is myself. And that's it.
Keep it going for Holland.
Thank you.
Thank you, Holland.
My
Great
pleasure.
work.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. And are those your paintings in the background?
Yes, we're in my studio right now, actually.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. Yeah. Holland's also an amazing visual artist. As
Thank
well as
you.
a great poet. So
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
absolutely. Totally. Well, it's good to see you, Holland, and I hope you can make it back to the open mic again soon.
Yeah, of course. Always.
And awesome. Well, hey, have a great night. Appreciate
You too.
you.
Thank you so much, Caleb.
My pleasure. Y'all give it up again for Holland. Yes, indeed. Yes. All right. Yes, indeed. Yes, that's actual recorded applause from our in-person open mic. Delve into it. Y'all know we have fun, and we have fun here on the virtual open mic live stream. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Appreciate all the likes, comments, and shares. And we're going to keep it rolling for you because we have some great performers to get to still. And we should have some more space in the studio now. If anyone's trying to enter the studio, go ahead and try again. We'll get you on here as soon as possible. But up next, we have Brennan Carroll in the house. And then I think we have Tara and David, Christopher KJ, Brian. After that, Justin Blackburn, Amelia. We got people coming up, so stay tuned. Okay, let's see if we can beam in Brennan. Brennan's has been a regular on our virtual open mic. And we love hearing from our musician friends as well. Even though it's poetry open mic, we welcome all forms of artistic self-expression and all people. So, yes, we're very welcoming. We try to be. So, on that note, please welcome Brennan Carroll. Give it up, y'all. Brennan,
thanks,
hey.
everyone. Hey.
Hey, good to
Glad
see you. It's been a while. You doing all right?
Yeah, certainly trying to hang in there. Glad I could finally find time to come back here, come back to this thing.
Yeah. Great to see you again. You got some songs for us tonight?
Yeah, nothing new. I might have played some of these before, but it's sort of what I just feel like doing tonight.
Cool. We're cool with that. Well, I'm going to turn it over to you, Brandon.
Back it up.
Thanks for being here.
No problem.
Cool. Y'all
Guess
give it up for Brennan.
Bit of a disclaimer here. I'm trying a whole new setup tonight with instead of an iPad, a laptop, and an Ethernet cable I forgot I had. But see if I can get a better connection going this time.
It seems really clear.
Okay, good.
Cool.
I guess one thing I'm worried about, even when as I was sitting here watching everyone else, I was having some popping audio I had to fix, and in the middle of it, my computer crashed for some reason. I didn't think I could get back in, but so fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
I'll just play it.
All right, give it up for Brennan.
Well, I'm going to play this one. This one is called Another World, and thanks. Glad it does. You know, watching the news lately has been a stressful, tragic and infuriating experience. And even at work with the pandemic, you know, it's just been we've had a couple stressful days, individual days while I was there. Keep worrying some maskless asshole's gonna get us all killed. So a song called a song called Another World is felt kind of fitting. Here we go. Every now and then I need to hide away and dream of somewhere far where I can always stay. It's a place where you can be naive, but no more heartaches, no more tears in vain. No regrets to bring you down. You can be at peace. You'll be happy in another world. Another night on the town, but I've got nowhere to go except for somewhere special, somewhere only I know. It's a place. Oh crap! Oh no!
Oh, I think we may have lost Brennan there. That's quite unfortunate. I was enjoying that. Okay, yeah, his stream crashed. Sorry about that, y'all. We'll see if we can get Brennan reconnected. But in the meantime, we'll go on to our next performer. Sorry about that, Brennan. But we'll get you reconnected and back on here in just a moment. But thank you, everyone, for tuning in to the one and only Poetry Open Mic Asheville, coming at you live from Asheville, North Carolina. We appreciate y'all being with us tonight. Many thanks to Sovereign Kava, our sponsor, and thank you all for tuning in. Appreciate the likes, comments, and shares. All right. Very good. We're gonna keep rolling along here because we've got plenty of other performers. And we'll get Brennan patched back in here in just a little bit. Appreciate y'all. The support means a lot. Okay. Let's go to, we have, up next we have, hold on one second. Up next we have, Tara. Tara Elliott is with us tonight. I believe joining us for the first time. We love welcoming new folks. So wherever you are, jump up and down and make a whole bunch of noise for Tara. Give it up, y'all.
Hey, Caleb. How are you?
I'm
good to
doing
see
fine,
you.
Thank you. It is good to see you as well. How are you doing tonight?
I am great. Thanks for having me here. It's awesome. I really appreciated it. I came in last week and watched, and it was just stellar. So thank you so much for hosting this.
Well,
And
thank you. It's my
Jessica,
pleasure.
Jessica was just amazing earlier. Thank you,
I
Jessica, for
know.
such great poetry. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So,
Jessica.
So I have some poems tonight that I wanted to share, and Jessica had read "Blessing of the Boats" by Lucille Clifton, and she was my professor, and I was her driver, which is like a really weird claim to fame. And oddly, I picked this poem to read tonight, which I wrote for Lucille. It's called "The Fox."
Oh, how serendipitous. That's wonderful. Well, I'll turn it over to you. Oh, but where are you joining us from tonight?
I am in Salisbury, Maryland.
Salisbury, Maryland in the house.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
welcome virtually to Asheville. And,
Thanks.
I'll turn it over to you now. Y'all give it up
All right.
for Tara Elliott.
Great. Thanks, Caleb. The Fox for Lucille Clifton. All night I dreamed of the fox, her eyes dime-sized glow sticks in the dark, the soft padding of her gloved feet along the grass. In cloaked darkness, I heard the elongated rasp of her bark. There are things in this life of which we are not yet aware. Later in daylight, when my dog lunged at the fox under the long winds of wisteria, the black tips of her ears cocked backwards, the fiery fur of her neck ruffled in alarm, and when both creatures bared teeth in a flash of snarl, the fox stopped to look over her shoulder. Without hesitation, she flung herself up and over the fence, tail nothing more than a gasp of white against chain link. Who was I to know what she might be protecting? O spirit, who was I to know, if not myself? My next poem is called True. It is a poem about Ernest Hemingway, and I know we're right in the middle or at the beginning of the hurricane season. I know there's quite a few more hurricanes coming up. I wrote this about Ernest Hemingway, but yet I also wrote it about my father. So true. All you have to do is write one true sentence. Ernest Hemingway. Another hurricane arrives today, and yet Hemingway's cats will remain prowling around, arcing their backs against the doorways, clawing after mice. The house, now silent and free of tourists, rests with its shutters firmly closed, wrapped up as tightly as one might hold a clenched fist. You never would have evacuated. Even if the governor demanded it, you would have stayed sitting in your recliner, weather radio crackling beside you. You'd read a novel while keeping an eye on the storm. This would be after the nailing of plywood upon plywood to the windows, the flinging of outdoor furniture into the swimming pool, the filling of each bathtub full to the rim, cigarette and endless red ember between your lips, coffee thrumming through your veins. There was a careful madness to the way you prepared. This was survival, and you lived for it. Like Hemingway, we once owned a six-toed cat. You brought him home as a good luck charm, a scrapping tabby with a black M tattooed between his gray ears and feet that loomed so large it was as though he were wearing boxing gloves. At night, we would hear him hissing and spitting on the roof as he took on whatever creature came across his path. In the morning, he would leave gifts on the porch, the tuft of fur from a squirrel, half a bird's spidery rib cage, the small white stomach of a bunny. It's how he showed love. I can't remember how he died, but I do remember how he once scratched my mother's arm and how that scratch rose white and long, blood piercing the surface in a straight line so that it bled from wrist to elbow. As she whimpered, you snatched that cat by the loose skin of its neck, slid the sliding glass door sideways so that it bounced backwards on its track, and threw him out into the night with such force that he landed in the branches of a tree. He didn't come down for 2 days. Hemingway wouldn't have left either. He would have lingered long over what he built, cursing at the fucking storm. There at his house, cemented to the concrete trim of the swimming pool his first wife wanted, is a coin. The pool, which workers pickaxe through dense coral to hollow out, took over 2 years to finish, during which he reportedly threw the last of his money down on the incomplete flagstone and yelled that the bitch had spent all he had, so she may as well take his last penny. We once camped in the Keys, and when we left, we had to cut the straps from our tent with a hatchet because the stakes, which took hours to hammer into the same coral, simply would not let go. My cousins told me you once drove your Jag all the way from New York City to Key West in less than 15 hours. You pissed out the window so you wouldn't have to stop. You were on leave. You wanted a drink. In plain sight in Hemingway's garden is the urinal he carted home for blocks from Sloppy Joe's, where he is said to have pissed away his money, now a drinking fountain for those 6-toed cats. Upstairs in one of his bedrooms, a single ceramic statue of a cat rests on top of a chest of drawers, eyeing everything. A trade from Picasso for a box of hand grenades. Its mane flows backward in signature black, yellow, and red. Its nose, a simple rectangle against the circle of its face. It possesses a perfect heart painted on the left side of its chest, and though it only displays 3 toes on each of its front feet and lives in a cave of plexiglass, it will weather this storm. It's already outlived you both. And I'm going to finish on a poem called St. Paul's Churchyard. I grew up in a town called Chestertown, and there's this fantastic graveyard there. And locals know that the silent screen actress Tallulah Bankhead is buried at that churchyard. And as teenagers, we would make pilgrimage to go and visit her grave. So St. Paul's Churchyard. I thought I told you to wait in the car, Tallulah Bankhead. Did you curse us that day when we, just 16, carried tiger lilies across that long stretch of lawn to place along your ground-flush tomb? And you, more quiet than any of your silent pictures, said nothing. What did we want of a used-up actress dead and gone by over 20 years? What did we hope would spit from your grave? Secrets of Hollywood, tales of lovers you once seduced by framing yourself in bathrobes of silk and fuzzy mules, your on-screen lipstick blacker than ink, cigarette smoke leaking from your mouth in constant French inhale, and how you never once wore panties, even when climbing or turning cartwheels. Oh, we needed to know how you lost even the bit parts to those better than you, how you'd put your lips together and blow every damned role to which you were destined, every handsome man who ever dared love you, and how the Cabana boys and the casting directors would slit your stockings to fill you with intent, and why you never returned to the South with your upturned nose clean, darling, champagne and bourbon dripping off your tongue like honey from the local hives. Oh, Tallulah, your very name spoke fame, something we knew we'd never have, of which, like the children the studio made you abort, you never were quite delivered. Addicted to your mixed drink of infamy and tragedy, we scouted for your grave, so entirely plain it would take us hours to find. And in strewing those flowers across your name, we somehow paid tribute, showed you we understood. No wonder we would return to the car to find the window shattered, safety glass glinting in the sunlight, beaded and blue, like one of those gowns men would so often slip from your ivory shoulders. Thank you for having me again, Caleb. I really enjoyed it.
And thank you, Tara. Give it up. Keep it going. Thank you so much. Appreciate you being here. I'm glad you came back and shared some this week. And
Thanks.
I hope you'll come back again in the future.
Yeah, you're a great host, man. Keep it up. Good job.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Great poetry. Everybody
Thanks.
give it up one more time for Tara Elliott. Very good. And you're all tuned into Poetry Open Mic Asheville. Big shout out to our Kava people down at the Kava bar. We're going to keep it rolling for you tonight. I think we may have lost Brennan, unfortunately, but hopefully if we can't get him back on tonight, hopefully next week we can have Brennan for you. So we do appreciate the music, and thank you to Tara. Thank you to all of our performers tonight. Jessica Jacobs, our featured poet, and we encourage you to visit her website and get her books. There's Pelvis with a Distance, and Take Me With You Wherever You're Going, and the new book of writing prompts out. So check that out. Also, if you're a poet in Western North Carolina looking to study with Jessica, we encourage you to apply for the Gilbert Chapel Distinguished Poet Series at NorthCarolinaPoetrySociety.org and for a chance to work one-on-one with the great Jessica Jacobs. Also, she's going to be hosting some online workshops that I believe are free or donation-based. So follow Jessica and keep up with what she's doing. Lots of good things happening there. Anyway, again, my name is Caleb Beissert. It's a pleasure to be your host tonight. We're going to keep this thing rolling for you. And let's see who we have up next. All right, another new folk tonight. David Eberhardt is in the house with us. And then after that, we have Christopher, KJ, Brian, and we've got Justin Blackburn coming up. And if anyone else is performing tonight, make sure to follow that StreamYard link, get in the group, so we know you're ready to go, and we'll get you on here as soon as possible. But go ahead and follow that link. All right, very good. Let's get Dave beamed in here. All right, y'all make a whole bunch of noise for Dave Eberhardt. Good evening, Dave. Welcome.
Thank you, Caleb. Am I coming through audibly, clearly?
Loud and clear, Dave.
Yes. Very good.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate you being here. Where are you joining us from tonight?
The charm city of Baltimore. Caleb.
Lovely.
Yeah, everyone note that with Caleb's photo at the top with the cliffs of Kauai, there's a nude beach there that I could point out to you, but glad to see that marvelous spot, Caleb.
Beautiful spot indeed.
Lately, I am adding to my peace movement memoir For All the Saints, a protest primer, which includes some on my 21 months at Lewisburg Federal Prison. But I'm adding a chapter for my friends who will soon be sentenced in Brunswick, Georgia, the Kings Bay Plowshare 7, who attacked the sub base there. And I advise or wish for support for them. Let me start, Caleb, with a poem, and I'll put this out as a challenge. If anyone can tell me who wrote it and when, you will win a can of Pennzoil, my sponsor. Here's the poem.
All right, I'll turn it over to you, Dave. Cheers.
The poem, which never fails to jack me up. Shine out, fair sun, with all your heat. Shine out, shine out. Show all your 1,000-colored lights. Black winter freezes to his seat. The gray wolf howls, he doth so bite. Crooked age on free knees creeps the street. In shadow, the boneless fish close quaking lies and eats for cold his aching feet. The stars in icicles arise. Shine out and make this winter's night our beauty spring, our prince of light. Now, we've had some spirituality tonight, and I will continue in that vein. Picture the crucifixion and the great paintings and the three upon their crosses. I like to, well, I can't figure out how to shake it, but so you can see, line lengths mean an awful lot to me. Anyway, this poem is called Golgotha, which was the hill on which the crucifixion took place. The repentant thief's perspective. At the moment of his dying, he glances to his side. That figure next to him, something about him. What is he, gay or something? Seems to know me. The one in the middle, the pain comes in wave flashes, like migraines, like white sand blinding Alamogordo. A sandstorm would be nice, my vision blurring. Blood fills my eyes. Oh, death, please come. Thank God that soldier slipped me some kef in the myrrh, the one below to the side. I recognize him from the whorehouse. Dear God, having never prayed before, forgive my sins, my lies. What did the guy say? Something about paradise? My hearing's going. Last chance to see the sun. And after the first nail, it didn't get any goddamn easier. That figure in the middle, something about him. Dear Lord, I can stand the pain no more. We thieves thought we were slick, could beat the rap, but this is no way to die. My setting sun, blood fills my mouth. Thank God for cot to chew on. My eyes glaze. What did he say about the paradise? I swear I meant to change my life. At last, as if by magic, it's changed. I know it. Was it me to change it? Or him beside me? All growing very still. Three of them shiver into death upon the hill. My eyes are going now, my goddamn eyes, but now I hear it clearly what he said. Today thou shalt be with me in paradise. I've gone lately to very short poems because for ages persons have found my long poems obscure, and when I go to readings, unless I see the poem in my hand, most of the time I don't understand it. So here we go. A couple of Baltimore poems. One I call a Bandominium Ode. Rats be crawling across my feet, heroin high. Another shorty from Baltimore, which is everywhere visible. I find poems, and I don't even have to write them. In case of animal trapped inside, call 311. Finding poems in movies lately, from Mad Max Fury Road, where everyone's looking for water. I say the title is optional, but the title is The Green Place, and the poem goes like this. To the west, beyond the mountains. Poem found in the movie The Big Short. And this is actually said in The Big Short, a great movie about Wall Street, hedge funds. But I've changed it a little bit. Truth is like poetry. Most people hate fucking poetry. I have a friend that says he's a slam poet. He says, poetry is like a person that can't look you in the eyes. So, short poems. Another one found in the movie Do the Right Thing by Spike Lee, where Radio Raheem is ordering a slice of pizza from Sal, of Sal's famous pizza. And the poem goes like this. See if you can tell where the line lengths are. I'm doing, I guess, William Carlos Williams stuff, but short poems. Yo, put some extra mozzarella on that shit. Now, I will end with a couple of gentler poems. I could devote this one to Emily Dickinson since it's set in the northern climate. And I'm proud to have won my first prize here in Baltimore with a Little Patuxent Review in the Enoch Pratt Library with a poem about a visit to Emily Dickinson. Anyway, this I will say is after William Carlos Williams and Ron Padgett, a National Geographic poem. I really, I love that channel, and it's also inspired by David Attenborough. A raven calls the wolverine to a moose corpse in the snow. And I will close with a poem that I'm calling Vermont. Could be New England. To me, the word dissolve does so much in this fragment. It's word painting, and we do not see it much in modern poetry. It's best left as a fragment. I'm tired of defending my longer pieces that people find obscure and that are obscure. I don't do segues well. I grew up with the obscurity of Crane, Thomas, Eliot, Breton, Rimbaud. And so these poems help me avoid the traps of much American and my earlier poetry. Obscurity, although some of my shorter ones are quite obscure. And obscurity and general boringness and long-windedness. With a short poem, you have a little bit more of a chance to understand it. Anyway, here's the poem. And Caleb, thank you for this opportunity, and also my friend Chris, who's reading next, a bloody Liverpudlian who impresses always with an English accent. Anyway, the poem called Vermont, or it could also be New England. Stone walls dissolve through the woods. can't get my hands right. Namaste. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate the poetry. Thanks for being here. And we'll see you again soon. All right. Hey, everybody, make some noise one more time for Dave Everhart. All right. Yes, indeed. You're tuned in to Poetry Open Mic Asheville, coming at you live from Asheville, North Carolina. We appreciate you riding with us tonight. Many thanks to our friends down at the Kava bar. We love y'all. Thank you to all our performers tonight. So much amazing talent, and it's not over yet. We got Christopher G. George coming up next, and then we got KJ and Justin Blackburn and Emilio. And yeah, we're just gonna keep it going for you. We do this 8:30 to midnight every Wednesday night, live on Facebook and YouTube. And we appreciate the likes, comments, and shares. Many thanks to our featured poet tonight, Jessica Jacobs. Buy Jessica's work off her website and the new book of writing prompts. It's going to be excellent, and you can apply. If you live in Western North Carolina, you can apply to study with Jacobs at North Carolina Poetry Society's Gilbert Chapel Distinguished Poet Series. Check it out. Indeed, we're going to keep rolling here tonight because we've got some more inspiring performers coming at you. Christopher T. George next. Y'all know the drill. Jump up and down. Make a whole bunch of noise for Christopher T. George. Hey, Chris.
Hi there, Caleb. I especially brought my English accent along.
Well, that's a good thing. He built you up like that. But hey, how are you doing tonight?
Okay, doing well. You too, I hope.
Doing well, doing very well. I love doing open mic with all you
Great.
fun people.
You're very good at it.
Why, thank you.
That's a compliment.
I do appreciate that. It means a lot. Anyway, what do you have for us tonight?
I got a few poems. I'm not, as I think I may have said here before, I'm not a religious person, but I use religion quite a lot in my poetry.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one is has some religious aspects.
Great. Excellent. Well, I'll turn it over to you, Chris. Thanks for being here tonight.
All right. The way I think of her. The deserted road ahead, morning fog, a stone wall overhung with apple trees in blossom. And ghosts? No, but I saw a sudden apparition of goats as Brother Giuseppe herded them round the corner. And I recall being with Maria, bees buzzing in blossom. Do you still dream of her after all this time, my son? Father, I dream of falling asleep on her warm bosom. Your lessons will cleanse you of such unclean thoughts. Father, will I replace these thoughts with other doubts? My son, there is no room for doubt on the true road. I shivered, saw the road ahead, apple blossom, ghosts. And this one is called The Legend of the Green Man. The green man persists through the lies, the obfuscations, the pretentious accents, and the newspaper hats crafted from today's headlines. The green man peers at you from behind the tree trunk, entwined by the yellow-eyed luminescent serpent. just as he spied on the Persian archers, the Roman pikemen, who tramped through the forest, leaving their dead slumbering under the fall leaves. Still, we earn our salaries, as did those soldiers rewarded with salt, and never look back. We pretend we are in receipt of generous donations, largesse of the gods, golden leaves that mound up in attic chests. The green man is watching you through each day's relentless dreck, the never-ending commercial static, something that you can't control, despite all the newfangled inventions, something primal and obscene. Yes, yes, you saw him once seen, never forgotten. Listen, he's listening to you, watching your every move. You hide your hand in a black velvet glove, hide your face in a mask. Just don't ask. I'm going to read several poems that were in Lochraven Review #1 a few years ago. And my mother, late mother, would have turned 100 this coming Sunday. Red roses and orange lilies. Busy midweek, I drive Mom for a Saturday morning grocery shop. She worries that the sign says speed hump instead of bump. I say it is catsup or ketchup. She says it's a different recipe. I say in medicine, a cream is water-based and cream oil-based. Still, she worries that the light is taking too long to change. Worries where she is, needs to know, forgetful. My mother at 84. I write quite a number of poems about poets and the art of writing. This is called The Monkey on the Terracotta Patio, and was kind of inspired by thinking about Ezra Pound in his dotage. The monkey on the terracotta patio scrambles for peanuts thrown by the old poet, sits on its purple haunches, gnawing at a nut. Pieces of husk raining onto the red tiles. The poet rests amused in the sun, a blanket on his knees, an intricately carved cane by his side, if he cares to walk, but he does not. Scents of honeysuckle and gardenia play in his nostrils. Snow-white peonies avalanche the red-tiled walk. The sun glints in water, spewing from a brown bronze fountain and on a cherub's cheek, beautiful enough to write about if he still wrote, if anyone remembers his verse. Once he was a performing monkey too, dancing to an organ grinder's calliope, wrote novels that entertained an audience, made a mark on the New York Times bestsellers list. The honeysuckles interwoven with poison ivy. The hospital staff don't seem to care. The monkey scratches itself, looks sideways with expectant eyes at its old companion, whose still hand rests in the crumpled bag of peanuts. And this one's called Nocien. Rain drips on window boxes of scarlet geraniums. I am seated as usual at my table in the cafe. I gaze out of the window, hoping you'll show up, but I know you never will. You send money that helps me to live, to be the writer and poet I've always dreamed, but I don't know you. Do I disgust you? Is that why you leave me abandoned here, a free spirit but captive like the goldfish in the corner going, oh, oh, oh. So I sit at my table, write another ode to you, to the person I think you are, but whom I may never know. Rain glistens on a scarlet petal. And let me finish with this one. I began with ghosts, I guess, and I'm going to end with ghosts too, kind of serendipitously. That's that word again. The ghosts of Cambodia. The old farmer takes us to a temple splashed with magenta bougainvillea. A carving shows a royal horse trampling a king's unfaithful wife to death. Below, a saronged woman offers rice and plum wine to the dead. A ruined school is now a shrine stacked with skulls rescued from the fields. Offerings of fruit and cups of water sit in the door. He says, where the skulls lay in the fields, they became soft and smelly. The water buffalo began to eat them. If we hadn't gone and collected them, the buffalo might have eaten them all. Nightly, the spirits of the dead startle us as they call out, bring us water. It's so hot and crowded in here. Still, their spirits cry out, taunt us. Thank you, Caleb.
My pleasure. Thank you, Christopher. Appreciate you being here. And take care. We'll see you again soon.
Yeah,
Have a
look
great
forward
night.
to it next time. Thanks, Caleb, again.
Absolutely. Cheers. Y'all give it up again for Christopher. Thank you for sharing, Christopher. And thank you to all our performers for sharing tonight. It's been a great night so far. Jessica Jacobs was our featured poet, and we still got a few more awesome performers coming at you next. We have the incredible KJ, and then we got Justin Blackburn up after that, and Brian. I think we had Brian. Where'd Brian go? Brian. And then Emilio, I think. So we got a few more coming at you. I'll close things out with some poetry as usual. But thanks for tuning in tonight to the Poetry Open Mic Asheville. Thanks for voting us Best Open Mic in Asheville again. And thanks to Sovereign Kava for all their support. Up next, we've got the incredible KJ in the house with us. Great poet here, y'all. Jump up and down, make a whole bunch of noise for KJ. Y'all know what to do. Give it up. KJ, how you doing tonight, man?
What's up? Pretty
What's
good.
up?
What's up with you, brother?
Chilling, man. Much love. Good to see ya.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. What's new with you?
Oh, nothing. Just
I hear that.
just slowly but surely writing new stuff.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. New
Yeah.
stuff. We love it.
Yeah, I've been waiting for inspiration.
Hey,
You know,
sometimes,
and then it comes.
sometimes you just gotta make space and let the inspiration come. You know, you don't always want to force it. But that's
Yeah.
great. You got some new ones for us tonight?
Yeah. Well, I got two. I have one I wrote recently, and it's I melded two poems together, and it's about fall. It's about the fall season, and
All
I'll
right.
read that
Yeah,
one
that's
first.
appropriate. Sounds
Okay.
good. Yeah, and happy equinox, by the way.
Yeah,
Speaking
yeah,
of
most
fall.
definitely.
Yeah. All right, well, I'm
Cool.
going to turn it over to you, KJ. Everybody make some noise for KJ.
Okay, this first poem is in dedication to Miss Lady Gloria. She lives in Asheville. She's an elder, and um, she founded the Afro Caribbean Goombay Festival of Asheville. And she's always prompting me to write about the mountains. You know, she talks about, damn, I'm a mountain woman. So originally it wasn't intended for Lady Gloria, but I guess it just kind of worked out that way. So this is a bomb poem, and goes like this: C'est la vie in Asheville Buncombe Mountains during fall. C'est la vie of AVL autumn. Can't, won't ever forget. In the age of my youthful years, during the newness of school and elementary and little league football, the winds, the smooth breeze, and wind chill came around, and we sojourned to and fro on dirt roads to the yellow buses with C'est la vie, with new books and writing material, and a new wardrobe that consisted of corduroy Levi's and the brand new Nike Swoop tennis shoe, accompanied by a 70s version Starsky and Hutch light coat or jacket lined with wool for the colder days to come, of course. It all smelled store-bought, new and fresh. La vie. Not to mention the anticipation of Halloween jack-o'-lanterns and candy corn, Thanksgiving turkeys and Christmas cheer, and excitement of a list for Saint Nick. C'est la vie. Fall time memories in mountains of Asheville Buncombe. C'est la vie. Can't, won't ever forget. C'est la vie. As every life form and cosmic creature of Smoky Mountain, Appalachia succumbs, bows down to natural, inevitable reality changes inside life cycles and seasons. So does the home of our Asheville Buncombe Mountains, anticipating fall winds who chime out September of the earth, the wind, the fire element. Yeah, September, reminiscent of that day when we met our Cali love on the Blue Ridge Parkway of Smoky Mountain Range, listening to some old Frankie Beverly, dreaming up visions of pottery clay, paint pastels, and old Eurocentric, Afrocentric, and American Indian folk traditions, which exude and breathe through the atmosphere, inundating the environment with mountain nostalgia. C'est la vie, la vie. Yes, mountain nostalgia inundated with Earth Aborigine culture and folk tradition of the Blue Ridge Smokies, which are recognized as some of the oldest landscapes and formations of planet Earth history. C'est la vie, la vie, la vie, c'est la vie. We celebrate and shall never forget nostalgic fall season of Asheville Buncombe life of a Blue Ridge Parkway mountain range of the Great Smokies. Okay. And I couldn't find my religious poem at the last minute. So I substituted it with it's dedicated. It shows my religious utmost respect for the sisters out there. My black sisters. So that's where my religion is gonna show right now. Okay, this one is called King Solomon Anthem, Ode to an Islander Woman, Parts 1 and Parts 2. Parts 1. Black woman so fine, you intoxicate like a vintage wine. Your innocent beauty brings peace of mind. I get visions in the air about braids and flowers in your hair, and your mold from the dirt in a long grass skirt, in ebony, jet, essence, and vibe, sweet visions of you in the jungle tribe, mystical like the Orient. From God to me, you were heaven sent. I look in your eyes and they are deep. If I look too long, I might get weak, shake, tremble all over inside. My love for you, no need to hide, 'cause you're so strong, know what you want in life. You should be my wife. You and me could make a wonderful team. Sounds like a dream for a pharaoh and his queen. We build and form our own regime of pyramids, castles, and crafts from the earth, sitting on our thrones and feeling our worth. You and me should raise a family, harvest the crops in our own dynasty of African descendants with roots like trees, beautiful and strong like an ocean breeze. We create and mold and hold them up to the moon, knowing that they will grow up soon to be a powerful young black woman or man, a king or queen to rule the land. Let's create in style like two natives on an owl, God's gift to the world, a pretty black child with shiny braids, strong flesh and bones. Descendants of Africa, they will know their home. Part 2, Regine. Regine, her name rings throughout the universe, as do the rays of sunlight that shine on her. Regine, goddess of Mother Earth, and an angel built like an hourglass silhouette from the motherland Africa. Regine, your rays shine on me like the sun, like Almighty God when we become one. Regine is what I hear, like sweet music to my ears, when nature sings and when it stings with its wet glistenings of warm sun rays on my West Indian back. Thank you. That's it.
Keep it going for KJ. Thank you, KJ.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, man. Beautiful work. Yeah, especially I love that first one, man.
Those
Wow.
poems about the black woman are throwbacks from the 90s. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
cool. That's cool. I remember the 90s. I was there.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Yep. But yeah, man, I love Goombay, and I love the one about the mountains, and man, I
Yeah,
love the
yeah.
90s throwback too. So thanks for
Yeah, yeah,
sharing that
yeah.
stuff. And
Yeah, most definitely.
hey, it's good to see you, man. And
Cool.
please come back and do this whenever you can.
Okay,
And
cool, man.
yeah, man, I look forward to getting together and doing the in-person open mic too again at some point. But
Yeah,
thanks
most
for doing
definitely.
this thing with us. And
Most definitely.
and yeah, we'll catch you again soon, KJ. Take care, all right?
Much love.
Much love, KJ. Y'all give it up for KJ. All right. And by the way, if you're performing tonight, you can stop by the Kava bar and pick up your free double of Kava as a thank you from us. And by the way, we appreciate the support from Sovereign Kava, and you all should support them. And they do cashless to go, orders only, mass required, and delivery through Kickback Asheville. Cool. Some comments there for KJ. Indeed. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us tonight. We got a couple more really awesome performers for you, so don't go anywhere. And it is getting to be last call for performers, so if you are performing tonight, make sure to follow that StreamYard link, get in the studio, and we'll get you on here very soon. But of course, we're here every Wednesday night, 8:30 midnight, for your viewing pleasure. So many thanks to our featured poet, Jessica Jacobs, tonight. You can apply to study with her at NorthCarolinaPoetrySociety.org. Look up the Gilbert Chapel Poet Series, Distinguished Poet Series, and buy her books at JessicaLGJacobs.com. All right. Many thanks to our technical director, Morgan Beissert, tonight. Theme music by Kava Lactones. We got Justin Blackburn up next in the house. Justin is a powerful spoken word poet and has been a regular at our open mic for many years. We appreciate his support. He's also a great stand-up comedian, hosted the stand-up night at the Kava bar for a long time, and hopefully we'll have all that back eventually. But for tonight, also he dropped a brand new album that's fucking awesome. Y'all should check it out. But right now, put your hands together, jump up and down, spin around, and make some noise for Justin Blackburn.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Hey, good, man. How you doing?
Doing well. I was pretty upset about the Breonna Taylor situation, but
Oh man, I just heard about all that. Yeah, jeez,
Yeah.
man, what the F, man?
yeah,
I mean, just God, they just straight up good when they were home, murdered her in her fucking sleep. I mean, it's crazy.
totally.
And they're
I
not
guess
even murder charges.
what I was
murder charges.
totally what I was wanting to do was maybe because I appreciate you saying I dropped this album called Unlearning White America. I put out a video directed by A.D. Ways called Hot Conservative Family Garbage. AD's amazing. It's on my Facebook if anybody wants to watch it.
Everybody should. It's a very poignant piece.
Yeah, thank you. And I guess what I would like to do is maybe read something that I wrote today about
New shit.
and then it was just a Facebook status that I made. I think it's pretty, I don't know, just kind of what's on my heart.
Hell yeah.
And then, you could be here with me because, as a white person, in America, it just kind of, you can tell me what you think of it. We can maybe talk about it for a minute.
Sure.
And then I can play a song from my album. Is that cool?
Sounds good. It's cool with me.
All right, so I'm just going to read it. And it says, every white American adult is responsible for the cops not going to prison for killing Breonna Taylor as well as her murder. This is not hyperbole. This is not virtue signaling. This is not my white daddy issues. This is not some white savior complex. This is not something to get in your ego and talk shit to me for saying. It is the truth. Black people have been murdered by white people for over 400 years in this country by police, by the system, by the KKK. And so many of these white people have faced no consequences, as well as countless white people for centuries haven't done shit about it to change it. Instead, they've benefited from the system that keeps this behavior alive. If you're working for a company that's foundation is based on illegal shit, you're guilty too. You can say you didn't know, but you did. You're not an idiot. In third grade, I had a teacher that blamed the only black kid in class for everything. One day she told him to write his name on the board. I told her to write her name on the board, and I got in trouble. I didn't know what racism was. I just knew she was treating this one kid differently. I wasn't the valedictorian. I could just feel. White people have had that feeling their whole life and ignored it to the point where it's so suppressed in their DNA. They don't know what it's saying, but it's definitely rotting their soul. Until a majority of white people accept responsibility and understand it is called the United States, not the United White People States, the system will not change and the blood will continue to be on our hands. When you were born white in America, you inherit the oppressive white privilege that comes with it. And if you do not do all you can to change it, you become part of the problem. I don't do all I can. I am part of the problem. This isn't some white fragility tip to feel bad about yourself or guilty or yell and attack someone else for it. It is just the facts. It is an invitation to do more, to be better, to use your voice, to confront racists, to protest, to be creative about ways to change, to give, to call your congressman, to educate your local police department, to change the system that awards inauthenticity, to change your own energy and stop being an oppressor in places in your life, to vote for the candidate that at least acknowledges that it is an issue and is open to changing it. For God's sakes, this has been going on for 400 years too long, and our parents and our grandparents and their parents were all part of the problem, whether consciously or unconsciously, and we inherited it and we must change it. 65 years ago, Emmett Till was lynched by white people for nothing, and nothing happened to the murderers. Today, Breonna Taylor was murdered for sleeping in her house, and nothing happened to the murderers. What happens 65 years from now is up to us white people. Until we understand the horrors of what is happening and our responsibility in it and act, it won't stop.
Right on. I mean, I agree, man. I think it's important that all white people take responsibility for their own racism and call each other out and stuff, and realize that it's not like you're racist or you're not. Racism is a spectrum.
Totally.
And, it's a constant process.
It is.
And we need to look at those things and see how the same stuff, like you said, that went on 65 years ago, is going on today.
In a different form, but a same form.
Same thing.
Same thing. Yes.
Takes different forms, but same thing essentially.
Yeah, totally. And it's like, and for 65 years, obviously, and this isn't like, I get in arguments with white people and they think that I'm being like mean or that's what I said in the first part. It's like, this is not this, and don't get into your ego about it. It's like, it's just what happened, right? It's like, it hasn't, it hasn't happened yet. Like 65 years ago, this happened. It's happening again. Like, how the fuck is it still happening? Like, what? They obviously didn't do enough to actually. KJ, what up, man? It was great to hear KJ earlier. I saw his thing. He's a great. He comes to the slams. He's an amazing poet. We love him there. But yeah, it's like nothing changed. So why? How? You know what I mean? So I just think that like it becomes our responsibility as a country. And you can look at it as different ways, right? You can be the person that's like, it's my life. I don't give a fuck about anybody else. I just do my own thing. Fuck everyone else, right?
Seems to be a theme.
Yeah. But what that does is it's not a substantial way to live a life of people, right? Like if you're the only person on earth, go ahead, whatever. Right. But like when you're in a community of people, you have to be community minded. You have to be one, you can't, that's just not sustainable.
Right.
And
we're seeing such a lack of empathy. Not from everyone. I mean, we're seeing extreme empathy from some people, but this prevailing sense of that kind of, I'm good, fuck everyone else kind of thing. Is certainly very problematic and it's kind of at the heart of a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, it's just like, I try to tell, like my clients, as I do life coaching, they'll have their part. It's a similar thing. I think this is maybe an easier way to say it to people. It's like maybe they have a partner that is toxic, right? And maybe they don't take being called out well, and they get in their feelings, and which is fine, it's their thing. But it's like it's saying like you're not bad, it's just not healthy. Maybe that what I'm saying. Like, it's like not saying that like. And I'm obviously I think racism is bad, but it's like what I'm saying. It's like finding ways to tell these people it's just not sustainable to have. If you're going to be in a relationship with a person and be this way, it's not going to be a good relationship.
Well, and I dig that approach too, because saying something is unhealthy sounds more to me like something you can change, you can work on,
Yes.
than just something being inherently bad.
Totally,
Yeah.
totally. And
Somebody, rather.
exactly. And I've had a lot of conversations with, conservatives or whatever, and whatever they want to call themselves. And a lot of them just get really butthurt. They act like liberals are the snowflakes. But they're the ones that, if you want to say snowflake, even though I think that's a, positive term. But but it's like, you're like, the liberals, like, they get so hurt by being called these names. But it's like, it's not to call you a name to make you feel bad. It's to help you, change. It's to help you be like, call out this toxic behavior so you can change it. Like, I had to call my own self out, and I've been called out for being a racist in my life. And I had to be like, I had some jokes like 10 years ago that were like racist. And I thought they were like funny. Like, I thought they were like whatever. And somebody showed me how they were racist. And I was like, all right, you're right. And I wasn't, and maybe at first I was kind of like, what are these people saying? But then I actually listened, and I was like, all right, yeah, you're right. And that's what has to happen.
And I think if you accept it, you're open to it. Opportunities to learn can be incredible things. I welcome my teaching mama.
Exactly.
I think a lot of people take it as an assault on them.
On their character, their ego, their personality that they created.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, that's actually how you grow in life. You get called out for something, and like I said earlier, it's like, I like that, like, it's unhealthy for the planet. It's unhealthy. The way we are is unhealthy for the community of people living in the world.
Absolutely.
And until we, it's like, people want to go, but what about this and what about that? But it starts with the system. The system creates fucked up people. Or like people not getting, you know what I'm saying, and all this kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's like, when the system changes, the people will change. And but we live in a toxic system, and it's toxic for the way we oppress black people, but it's also toxic. White people become toxic because they're so like unable to like confront themselves and have any kind of change, and they just live in this little bubble, and they have no idea what's going on. And I used to live in that bubble, so I know a bit about it.
Right. Yeah, you probably understand that a lot better than I do.
Yeah, you had cool parents.
I was lucky in that sense.
Yeah, you had, and your granddad was awesome.
Absolutely, yeah. My grandfather was a civil rights activist.
That's amazing. Yeah, I understand that because I lived in that world and I was part of that, and that's why I think I appreciate. I appreciate my perspective, because I do feel like I can understand those people, because like I was one of them. Right. And I lived that world.
And that's what's important, is kind of understanding each other and where we come from, because that's what I try to wrap my head around some of these conservative viewpoints, and I keep coming back to just fundamentally not understanding how people can think some of these things.
Totally. I mean, I totally agree. I mean, it is. It's wild. It's wild.
And you address that a lot in your work. You bring that perspective from that place into your work, I think, and show, like I like a lot of your poems where you kind of have this omniscient perspective into the like the emotions of the the problematic characters in your work, where
totally.
where it's like, well, but this is what this person's really thinking or really going through emotionally.
Yeah, because I think to change people, you have to kind of like, you have to get into their head. You have to understand where they're coming from. You can't just, you know, and I kind of, there's a part of me that doesn't want to do it. And there's a part of me that's still like, you know, angry at people that I know that are, you know, in my opinion, misinformed. And I would go as far as to say really stupid.
Well,
but I have to
yes.
like, I have to be like, okay, no, what's better for the world? Like, is it better for the world for me to like hate this person and make this person feel even more isolated and tell this person what a dumbass he is? Or is it better if I can kind of build a bridge where we can actually communicate and have conversations and I can kind of see that? And it's not easy, you know, because it's hard because they're saying just really dumb stuff and then they get in their ego and they don't want to change and they think they're right. You know what I'm saying? It's rough. But yeah, man, I just wanted to come on and sort of talk about that. And
totally. And I think that informs the characters in your work. And speaking of which, the music video you just released kind of has this strong character in it. You know, this garbage people that you're dealing with.
Yeah, which is that one's kind of mean to those people. But that was more for
it's like, a comedy song. You know.
Yeah, but it's more for like, you know, I think the people who have been, I think that's something that people can relate to. And that song is about having the freedom to tell those people to fuck off. Or to tell those people like, no, I don't want to come over because you're a fucking racist, so I'm not going to come. So I think that a lot of people don't feel, and I've talked to people, a lot of people don't feel like they have the power to do that, right? They feel like they have to like be nice around their family or whatever. And I think that, you know, that's good, but I think that it would be even better if you could feel like authentic. And I think sometimes part about being authentic is being like, hey, fuck you. You know, because
and confronting the important issues in life.
Exactly. So that song is mean to conservatives, but it's real. I mean, honestly, the people that it's based on, or person, that I didn't really write it. I mean, I wrote that last rap, but I mean, I wrote it, but it's like I was just verbatim saying shit that they said. You know what I mean? It wasn't like I made
found poem.
Yeah, it wasn't like I made the character up. Like, what would this character say? It was like I took direct quotes
that's really what they said.
and said it. And yeah. So,
Well,
I think that's the realest kind of art, you know, is like the people.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I just wanted to come on and talk about that and
totally. And you had a song to share tonight?
I went a little too long. I'm not trying to go too long.
I think we got an extra minute or two if you wanted to share it. But
okay, I'll play two. I'll be one of those people. I'll play 2 minutes of it, and then I'll tell people if they want to listen to the rest of it, they can go on Unlearning White America, Bandcamp.com, and download it for free.
Right. How do you make a white person care? Suburban living, willfully unaware of all the injustice, of all that's unfair. How do you make a white person care? How do you make a white person see a black man is as beautiful as a shining sea. That God made him from love just like me. How do you make a white person see?
So yeah, that's a song that's sung by Annie Ellie. I wrote the lyrics, and
That's awesome.
yeah, I kind of came up with the melody, and she kind of made the melody better and put some chords to it, and we recorded at Patrick Doyle's studio
Hell yeah.
in Asheville. It was pretty great, and yeah, so that was that. And there's the chorus says we got a lot of giving to do for the living we've put others through. And I think that's that. Yeah. But yeah, man, always a pleasure. Love you so much, man. Always great to come on here.
Love you
thanks
too,
thanks for
Justin.
doing this. Hopefully soon we can do a live in-person event.
Yep.
Shout out to Morgan for doing this, and thankful to everybody that's performing. And love to see KJ back in the slam. And y'all have a great night.
Totally. Thank you.
Peace,
Powerful work, Justin.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Give it up one more time for Justin Blackburn.
See you, Justin. Thanks, brother. Oh, man. And check out, Justin's got so much work out there. You can find him at justinblackburnwrites.com. And thank you for stopping by and joining us tonight, Justin. It's always a pleasure. I, too, look forward to when we can get together in person again. And in the meantime, we'll keep getting together here each and every Wednesday night for more Poetry Open Mic Asheville. Coming at you live from my living room. Thanks for being with us. Oh, yes. It's starting to get cool here in Asheville. Autumn's rolling in. It's been a wonderful night. Jessica Jacobs was our featured poet. And many thanks to her. Many thanks to everyone who performed and read tonight. I think we got one more performer if Amelia's out there. You're up. Last call for performers. If anyone else is performing tonight, follow that StreamYard link. We appreciate it. And many thanks to our sponsor, Sovereign Kava. I'll support them. And join us again next week when we'll have another great featured poet and a lot more wonderful performers from all over the place, all around the world these days. Thanks for voting us best open mic and keeping us going for almost 10 years now, even in times of the pandemic. We keep it rolling. All right, we have Amelia. Alright, it's good for the head. Good for the old head. Yeah, good stuff. Thank you for that link. Many thanks to our technical director, Morgan Beissert. Thanks again to Blackburn. Thanks to Kava Lactones for our theme music. Thanks to Hypnos for our graphics. And, yeah. Alright. I'm gonna read a few poems, unless we got Emilio here. Let's do it. All right. This one's called Garden of Agony. In the garden walled in with the lights of camellias and the rose trellis, Borderline red vein backward, high roofs escalate in the distance, stopping short of a reason why. Christopher cracks his back, turns head from side to side, brushes away a twinge of the deep alcoholic opioid madness that's always gnawing at him just barely, just enough to please him, just enough to make him feel sick, just enough. Sometimes it makes him enjoy reality, if you can call it reality. Breathe some fucking life in you. The doorbell rings in the quiet house. There's a fountain trickling from a stone koi darkened by time. Christopher doesn't stir, but instead listens intently to the sound of the water. He hears in it the whispers of many generations stretched across the perpetuating gurgle, pouring little flashes of star and meteor. The spirals in a sunflower echoed and turning. He wonders whether anyone else can hear water the same way he does. Water carries history with it, washes away, but always remembers. The doorbell rings again, and this time Christopher raises himself and wanders into the house, where the darkness is eating itself in the hallways. The bats in the attic are sleeping. And this is Hangover Flowers. The light from the windows enters my soda fountain machine gun matrimony. Chemical bottles breathe in the certain night musk around 3 a.m. Slow conversation. Hogwash soaped up free bark mule. Danger night bar fight by the back refrigerator. Late beat prison, spent rope prison when I meant to write freedom. What's up, high five, twisted headed, red hair, red eyes. Large mercantile drift, back porch, Motown radio, manufactured gin from 1984, oil spent wells drowned from time, old stretch, beat up engine grist, holly and the amber azalea. Pink stretch in the morning across the road, tree trunks up like bed rattles, moaning light spreads out from the road and covers the fields, darkened pine cellars, the forest quiet now, cold. The radio's still on somewhere in the house. Receiver of ghost transmissions. 50 years on this day, blue-green scratches on the ceiling, screeching 1920s hot jazz, ghost trumpets. Carol of morning fog to roll over the house. No such mountain is present. Open your plexus. Green animal tracers pilot the crown molding. There are a few beers left on the stove. All the mirrors in the house reflect different colors. A saline omniscience pervades our bedroom, while under the night heaps new civilizations grow. Yellow and green colored glories magnifying against the soft hush. Cans turned over bent footprints, soaking in the water, dripping down the wall, spurting from the clock that tells you sunrise is sunset. Epistle on the way of emptiness. In a day down for no reason, chemical loneliness, dark shadows of window panes across the wood floor. I'm friends with the house plants. The desk is too hard, the chair too upright, the lamp a little too harsh. I write to Neely Tchaikovsky. I hear a child saying hello outside in the middle of the night, and a cyclone of car in the distance. Neely, I'm surrounded by books I can't understand. The museums are full of empty vases. Neely, the wind chimes don't make any sound here. I can't find a single poet in the coffee shops. Tell me it was all dream. And I'll do this one called Invisible World. I wring out laundry in the rank world. Blackbirds fly in and out of an open window. For centuries, distress was my dwelling place. I look skyward and dream, head resting in an open window. Tall buildings and street poles block my view, so I throw all my possessions out of an open window. Kings and their lobbyists lie down in palace corridors. A falcon with a note appears at the open window. The rulers cannot be trusted. Nothing has changed. A bandit steals my soul and makes through the open window. Beside the oak bookshelf, a wine bottle filled with peacock feathers. The invisible world lies just beyond the open window. Thanks a lot, y'all. Many thanks again to our featured poet tonight, Jessica Jacobs. Please check out her work and all the good things she has going on. Many thanks again to Jessica, and thanks to all our performers tonight. I'm going to leave y'all with a little roomy, but do come back again next week. We'll have another amazing open mic for you. Thanks for helping us make it amazing, and thanks to Sovereign Kava for their support. Many thanks to Morgan Beissert, our technical director, and again, my name is Caleb Beissert. It's been a pleasure. The diver's clothes lying empty. You are sitting here with us, but you're also out walking in a field at dawn. You are yourself the animal we hunt when you come with us on the hunt. You're in your body like a plant is solid in the ground, yet you're the wind. You are the diver's clothes lying empty on the beach. You are the fish. In the ocean are many bright strands and many dark strands, like veins that are seen when a wing is lifted up. Your hidden self is blood in those veins that are lute strings that make ocean music. Not the sad edge of surf, but With the sound of no shore. Not the sad edge of surf. But the sound of no shore. Thanks for coming to Open Mic tonight. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us. Again, my name is Caleb Beissert. Many thanks to our technical director, Morgan Beissert, our featured poet, Jessica Jacobs. We will be back here next week with more Open Mic for y'all. Stay safe. Keep standing up for what is right. And don't forget to vote. Peace, y'all.
Max Milner on the keyboards, Jason Moore on saxophone, Aaron Price on bass, Chris Cooper on guitar. I'm Caleb Beissert. Thanks for hanging out, y'all. It means a lot. Y'all take care of your barkeeps. Get home safe. Hopefully